Okay, this video is going to cover our pop culture collage that we're going to do in Photoshop. In class, we looked at the work of Jo Jo Anavim. We watched some video of him and took a look at his work, the very colorful, bold, iconic kind of work, and a very pop culture related work. So, in order to do something very similar to his work, here's how we're going to start. You are going to get this sheet in class that tells you the different parts I want you to put together. So, for part one, and this is what this video is. This is the part one of the Jo Jo Anavim video. What we're going to do is we are going to go into your own folder, and in your folder I want you to make a Your Name Project 4 folder. And then in that folder I want you to make 3 new folders. Part 1 of Pop Collage, Part 2 Blobs and Splatters, Part 3 Photos and Logos. Then you're going to go, I'm just going to get rid of this for a second so you can see a little better. We're going to go into Photoshop, File, New. And when this comes up, we're going to go to the print settings up top. We're going to drop down to a tabloid size. Make sure it's 11 inches, 17 for the height, 300 resolution, RGB color mode, and white for the background contents. Now here, the only difference that you can do is that you can make it like portrait, vertical, or horizontal here. I'm going to make mine horizontal actually, and then I'm going to click Create. So you get this brand new document. Now from here, we're going to go to File and Save As. Once you got to Save As, go to your folder, go to your Project 4 folder, and save it in this main folder. Name it at the top, right here, right? Name it Your Name, and then Project 4 and Final, and then hit Return. Then, in your Part 1 folder, you are going to pick, as it says here, some kind of a theme: music, food, culture, fashion, favorite movie, favorite cartoon, favorite something. And you're going to put it, or make that choice, I should say, and then go online. When you go online, go to Yahoo. When you get to Yahoo, you're going to start to type in. So, for example, I went like this. Right, I went to Pee-wee's Big Adventure here. And I went to images, I went to large, and I started to click on these images, and when I came up with the big versions of them, I clicked and dragged these big versions into that Part 1 folder. Now I could have gone crazy and got 80 of them, but so far I have 16 different ones. You need at least 15. It says it right here. You need at least 15 images for this section. All the images should be related to your theme. Okay? So you got to start there, gathering all the images and pulling all of them in. If for some reason it does not let you pull them in, like if this doesn't work when you try to pull it, just right click, Save Image As, and then find your folder and click it. So here, I might go like this, find the folder, click Part 1, and then I can hit Save and it'll put it in there. Alright, so once you have all that done, you're going to open up that new project, which is this one. It's got nothing on it right now. What you then do is you go into these different pieces, and you can actually drag them straight in. But if you do that, what's going to happen, even if you hit the checkbox up top, is that the layer now is a smart object. So what you really want to do is right-click on the layer and rasterize. So you do that for each one that you bring in. You drag it in, you go over to it, you have to hit OK first, go over to the layer, right-click, rasterize. All right, so you do that for a few of them. Now you could also open with Photoshop. This is just another way to do the same thing. You'll see the tab at the top, pull it apart, take the Move tool, move it in. Okay, so we have 3 different layers right now. I'm going to go one at a time. This bottom layer is here where he's shaking the guy's hand while he's riding the motorcycle. Your options are, you take the Move tool, you move it. Where's it going to go? This part is totally up to you. In order to transform it, you're going to go to Edit and Free Transform. You can hold Shift, make it larger, smaller. You can rotate it, put it wherever you'd like. I'm going to move it down here, just about like that. Then I'm going to hit OK. Now, I can go more than that, right? I can, depending on the look that you want, you could go in with one of your selection tools, maybe magnetic lasso, and do this kind of thing. All right, and do some kind of cutout. And make selections and hit delete. You could do it that way. That's totally fine. You could use any of your other tools to do this, whichever ones you feel comfortable with. Lasso, polygonal, anything, okay? Go through, get the cutout that you want, make it look nice and clean, make your selection of whatever you're trying to get, hit delete, get rid of pieces. Okay, you can leave out stuff that you don't want, you can keep in things that you do want, you can make selections and delete as much as you would like. All right, so I'm going to get rid of just a little bit more here, and each one could be a little different. They do not have to be all the same kind of cutouts. You can try different things for different ones. You want to keep it interesting and change it up a little bit. All right, so we got that done. Now, in Jo Jo Anavim's work, we saw that he ripped pieces out of magazines. So to make that rip look, here's what you would do. You'd go online. You would look up ripped paper or rips. See what comes up with rips. Rip paper. Let's say rip paper. When you find rip paper, you can really find sort of any of these will work and be fine. I think this one's pretty good to try to use, and here's what happens with it. You click it, right? Then you can actually drag it directly into your work from here. Now once it comes up, I'm just going to move it over so you can see a little better. I might even do Command T and resize it a little. There we go. So you can see it, right? See it right there? I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to get rid of the edge here. So I'm going to use the Magic Wand tool, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to hit delete. Then I'm going to go right up to layer 2 right here, hold Command on my keyboard, and click the thumbnail. By doing that, you see it's selected the entire piece. Go to Edit, Define Brush Preset. It's going to make a brush out of that piece. I'm going to call it Rip 2, and I'm going to hit OK. Now I can do Command D to deselect. I can even get rid of that layer. I don't even need it anymore. What that does is this. If I go to this layer that I'm on with him shaking the hand, and I go to my eraser tool, up at the top there's all different kinds of erasers, right? You can make it a very simple eraser. There's all different kinds. But at the very bottom of this list is that brush that I just made, this one right here. And you can see it when I put it on the screen. Now all I do is go up to this thing and start to click. You see, kind of looks like it was ripped apart. And you can rip it kind of anywhere that you want. You know, I could rip it down here maybe. I'm just erasing the pixels basically. Erase, 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 erase. And it's looking like it was a bit ripped apart. Now if I just click a little bit, you see kind of the rips look like this versus being really ripped apart. But that's sort of all up to you. You can click as many times as you want. You can click and drag over it to make it look like it's really ripped. Then you go into your next layer, open that layer up, do Command T, make decisions about how big or small it's going to be, move it around, pull it underneath another one so it goes behind, take the move tool, kind of move it around a little bit, and then do some more cutouts. Try a different tool, maybe magnetic lasso, maybe quick select, maybe magic wand, depending on your picture. Everybody's pictures are going to be different, so I can't tell you exactly what's going to work until we look at the pictures that you picked. Just remember, whatever you do choose, you can always fix. You're not stuck with the first tool that you choose. Like even here, I can switch to a different tool, lasso, polygonal, and I can kind of do this and get rid of extra pieces, like that sort of thing. And then the same idea, I can take that eraser tool, choose one of these, make it look like he got ripped apart here. Right? And then continue that same way. You can do rips, you could do no rips, a combination of them. So you just grab piece by piece, make decisions. Where does it go? Command T, how big is it going to be? Are you going to rotate it? Where are you going to place it? How are you going to cut it out? So you go through, you start doing all of these as best you can. You make your selections to get rid of stuff, and I'll see you in part 2 for the next steps.